I kind of look at it like, what do you need as a caregiver or as the adult? What do you need to make sure that someone can be your advocate or act on your behalf if something happens and you need care? Or really, this applies to all of us. We should all have this. And that's a power of attorney, a financial power of attorney. Everyone should have that if you're 18 or older. If you're under 18, your parents are your natural guardians, and you don't need a financial power of attorney. But when my kids turned 18, the first thing I did is take them down to the bank and get them to sign a power of attorney, because they were appointing me their agent and I couldn't notarize their signature. So, and that was one of their birthday presents. So I made them do that, and you should all do that. And it was free. I didn't charge them anything for it. So they got off pretty easy. What a power of attorney does is it designates someone else to act on your behalf. So if I give you the power of attorney, then you have the ability to sign checks for me, or to transfer my real estate, or to make gifts if the power of attorney says that. So it's limited to what the power of attorney says, and most power of attorney documents are pretty general, and they provide authority to do pretty much everything. Gifting authority, you need to specifically state that in the document. Otherwise, a gift made under a power of attorney is subject to being set aside if it was improper. And powers of attorney should be durable. What that means, that's a term of art, and what that means is that the authority to act continues if you become incapacitated. And it's a specific legal language in the document. Another kind of power of attorney is for health care, and that's what I call an advance directive. So that's a durable power of attorney for health care, and that you can do on your own. There are websites in Ohio where you can download that document. It requires either 2 witnesses who aren't named in the document, or a notary, and that's for healthcare decision making. So that gets around the HIPAA rules and all of that, but it only goes into effect if you become unable to give medical consent. So as long as you're able to give medical consent, the healthcare power of attorney is not in effect. The other advance directive is a living will, and the living will is more of your statement to the world, and mostly your family, that you do not want certain types of treatment at the end of your life. And it's pretty limited in Ohio to life-sustaining treatment when you're terminally ill and death is imminent, or you're permanently unconscious and not likely to regain consciousness, basically meaning that you have no brain function. And what the living will says is that you do not wish your life to be artificially prolonged. You wish to die a natural death. Hospice websites have the living will online, as well as the power of attorney for health care, and it's the same signing requirements in front of 2 witnesses or a notary. The trusts and wills, okay, this is talking about basic estate planning. So this is more what happens after you pass away, and what should you have. If you don't have anything, then the state of Ohio, or whatever state you live in, is going to decide what happens to your assets when you pass away. So it basically applies to all assets that you own. So what happens, can you give your property away? Your husband's going in the nursing home, or you're single and you're going in the nursing home and you have some assets. You say, darn it, I want my kids to have that, or I want my grandkids to have that. Can't I just give them my $100,000 and then get the government to pay for my care? No, you can't. If you do that within 5 years prior to going in the facility, they're going to impose what they call a penalty, which is a time period during which they don't pay for care. There are some exceptions to that. If your child lived with you and took care of you and kept you out of a nursing home for 2 years, and you can prove that, you can give your house to that child. If you have a child that's eligible for Social Security disability or are disabled, you can give any asset to that child. Well, what if that child's on benefits? What if that child is on Medicaid and SSI and food stamps and government housing? Won't you mess up their benefits? Yes, you will. So you need a special trust for that child. So we call those special needs trusts. So it can get very complicated. Every situation, there's no one size fits all, and every situation is different.